Welcome to the final day of GC32 racing at Copa del Rey Map Free. The teams headed out onto the water knowing it would take their best performance to secure a podium finish here in Palma. Team Argo, skippered by Jason Carroll, continued yesterday's great performance with a succession of top 3 finishes to conclude the regatta in 3rd place overall and claim the owner-driver's trophy. Norauto was pushed hard, but Ineos Team UK, with Lee McMillan on the helm, who had led from day one, claimed the overall victory with a race to spare.
It's been a really fantastic week for Ineos Team UK. Like you said, we got off to a good start on the first day, managed to get out in front, but it's been a really tight battle with Norauto the whole way through. It's been a tight battle, but a really fantastic effort by the whole team, all the sailors and all the shore team, the coach, and everyone who's helped us kind of have a really solid week.
Le Mans driver Eric Maris and his Team Zulu were the fastest in the Anonymous Speed Challenge for a 2nd year in a row.
Well, but that's because I do car racing the rest of the year, so I'm used to go fast now. We take it seriously. That's one thing that maybe not everybody does. We take it very seriously, we have fun doing it, and we probably have a good technique for the turn. Apart from that, probably a bit of luck as well.
The final act of the GC32 Copa del Rey ended with a majestic ceremony where the winners were awarded by King Philippe VI of Spain himself. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you at our next event in Italy.
Copa del Rey brings to a close the Nations Trophy Mediterranean League 2018 for Swan 1 designs. The 10-boat club Swan 50 class did not disappoint the aficionados of combative 1 design racing. The overall standings were decided on the final day and in a manner befitting a fleet featuring Olympic medalists, America's Cup winners, world champions and Volvo Ocean Race sailors among the crews. Early Bird sailed impeccably to slam dunk the opposition with 2 wins from 2, closing out the class more emphatically than expected given the hesitant 1-point lead the German crew carried overnight. While Niramo, owned and helmed by Sonkma Sawatsky, could do nothing to topple Early Bird, the crew did enough to hold off Stefan Heidenrich's 1 group to take 2nd. Although tied on points with 1 group, countback meant the Italian entry, Q Ordilione, was unable to break a German clean sweep of the podium.
Yeah, it's just part of my morning warm-up. Every day I've been doing this, solved my cube a few times, stretch a bit, listen to some music. So yeah, just sort of try and help me relax a bit and switch on at the same time. So that's just part of my routine.
bit up and down. Our first race was super light, like seriously marginal, and didn't have the best second lap, so I dropped down a bit, but the second race was about 8 to 10, 11, 12 knots, and had a much better race, so go give it a good crack again tomorrow. It's been a long week, so I think most of the boys are pretty tired, and generally that plays into my hands a bit, so I always love a last day, so go give it a good fight and see what happens tomorrow.
The Clip Around the World Yacht Race finished on Saturday 28 July and received a royal homecoming with the fleet's rival in Liverpool's newly crowned Royal Albert Dock. It was a momentous occasion for the Clipper race as they made history with two female skippers achieving first and second place, Wendy Tuck on Visit Samur, and Nikki Henderson on Visit Seattle. From Liverpool to Uruguay, Australia to China, Seattle, Panama, New York, Ireland and back again, it's been an incredible journey. The Clipper race is one of the biggest challenges of the natural world and an endurance test like no other. With no previous sailing experience necessary, it's a record-breaking 40,000 nautical mile race around the world on a 70-foot ocean racing yacht. The brainchild of Sir Robin Knox Johnston, the first person to sail solo non-stop around the world.
A bit of shock, disbelief, joy, sadness, you name that emotion, I'm probably feeling it right now. All we were thinking about was just finishing this race and doing well, so I don't know. For the first time in my life, I think I've lost the words.
The event is now on its 11th edition, with the 12th edition starting in 2019-20. Divided into 8 legs and 13 to 16 individual races, you can choose to complete the full circumnavigation or select individual legs. It is the only race in the world where the organizers supply a fleet of 11 identical racing yachts, each with a fully qualified skipper to safely guide the crew. Normally the domain of seasoned pros, this supreme challenge is taken on by ordinary, everyday people. Having completed a rigorous training course, participants are suited and booted in the latest extreme protection gear to commence the race of their lives, an unparalleled challenge where taxi drivers rub shoulders with chief executives, vicars mix with housewives, students work alongside bankers, and engineers team up with rugby players. The sea does not distinguish between Olympians or novices. There is nowhere to hide. If Mother Nature throws down the gauntlet, you must be ready to face the same challenges as the pro racer. Navigate the doldrums en route to South America, endure epic Southern Ocean storms, experience South African sunsets, face the mountainous seas of the North Pacific, and bond with an international crew creating lifelong memories before returning victorious. Applications are now open for the 2019-20 edition of the Clip Around the World Yacht Race. Seize the moment, unleash the adventure.
So the interesting thing about the Nacra 17 is when you're going fast, the boat likes to tell you with the rudders, they start screaming. So the faster you go, the louder it gets. By the time you know you're really sending it, then you can't even hear what your crew's saying.
What noise does the rudders make?
What noise?
It's actually not that high. If you're going super fast, then it is.
You gotta like yell at each other, so it sounds like Hayley's always angry at me, so it's pretty noisy.
Yeah, I was actually thinking today how annoying that sound is, and that later in life I'm gonna probably be deaf. Depends how fast you go. Yeah. When it starts whistling, you know you're going fast, and then when it pitches up, you're like, oh, we're falling here.
If they're fed well, just nothing at all, just peace and quiet. Just Lisa going, we're faster and lower.
Only a handful of Finn sailors managed anything approaching consistency on the 5th day of the 2018 Finn Gold Cup at the HEMPEL Sailing World Championships 2018 in Aarhus, Denmark. Scoring a second from last and then a second place, European champion Ed Wright takes a 7-point lead at the top after 2 more races on Tuesday. Tom Ramshaw is up to second and Josh Jr. up to third after most of the top 10 picked up at least one high score. With racing lost on Monday, 3 races were scheduled for Tuesday, however delay followed delay as the day got hotter and hotter. Finally one race was sailed under a blazing hot sun in very light winds before a further delay and a second race in 10-12 knots. The race course was a minefield of holes and shifts that caught out almost everyone at some stage. After the second race finished at 17.30, the fleet was sent home, after being afloat for more than 6 hours.
How to make sense of that day? I'm not sure if you could. Yeah, it's just really shifty and back and forth from left to right, and I think we opened the day with 60-degree shifts, so yeah, quite an interesting day, and the pressure was, I think, everything between 14 and 5 knots, so yeah, it was easy to get it wrong and easy to be on the wrong side of the start line. Today, a consistent day. I think the first one was top 10 and won the second one, so in average, I think a great day. So far not discarded yet, so far so good. Tomorrow lay day, and then we got 2 Gold Fleet days. Finally we get to race against everybody.
With high scores everywhere, several sailors dropped out of the top 10, but it was an opportunity for others to make their move. In Gold Fleet, Victor Garostegui was first round the top from Andre Hogen Christiansen and some Babirechs. Johannes Pettersson rounded around 7th, and on each leg he passed a few boats before finally passing Garostegui on the final downwind to take his first ever World's Race win. Garostegui took second with Babirechs in third. The breeze increased slightly for the second race with Oscar flag raised at the start for free pumping.
I'm really happy with my results so far. Today was a bit of a tricky one. We had offshore breeze, so it was really important to have a good start and catch the first shift and then just play it on from there. And I managed to do that twice. Scored the race win and the 12th place today, so I'm really happy with my day. Yeah, obviously the Gold Fleet racing will be a lot harder than the racing we did so far, and I'm trying my best to keep it all together and manage to get more good races in, so I finally have a good regatta in the end.
Shifty, toughy day out there on Echo course today. Not too bad for me. Could have certainly been better. I lost quite a few points in that last race, which is quite frustrating. But to come away with, I think, 10 points from a day like that is definitely no bad thing. We've got a day off now, and then we've got another 4 races to go before the meta race. And I think, by the sounds of it, the points are very tight at the top. So let's see what the next few days bring.
Caleb Payne was first round the top from right, but on the second upwind, Andy Maloney found some pace and passed all of them to lead the fleet down the run to the finish with Wright second and Jake Lillian third. In the Silver Fleet, Jock Calvert had an amazing day with a 1,2, while Arkady Kistenov won the second race. Pettersson, aged 22, was delighted with his first Finn Gold Cup race win.
Well, it's this time of year again, and we've had the Sydney to Gold Coast race. The big boats have been in the water, they've all got wet keels. It's all been decided. We're at North Sails with Michael Coxon. Once again, Cocko, we're here for a chat. You're in the race. Tell us what happened.
Yeah, it was it's always an interesting race, the Gold Coast race, because of the time of the year. It's our winter time, so the conditions can be quite varied. The forecast was for a pretty quick race with, in fact, I was on a 60-footer called Triton, and we decided only to take one spinnaker, but if you look at the routing, you would have taken no spinnakers. But like every time that happens, you get caught out. So lucky we did take one spinnaker because we had up for 50% of the race. So it went from being a very quick race on routing to a very slow race, certainly for the mid-sized boats. So the old story, you get a lot of parking lots and catching up, and I was interesting to watch Matt Allen in Ishiban, his 52-footer, because he absolutely blitzed the other 52s. There were about half a dozen in the race, and by halfway up the course, he would have had his time easily. I think he was leading on the corrected time. And then we all ended up alongside him, and everyone was parked up. There would have been about 15 boats you could have thrown a net over. And because of, one, the breeze dying, but also the tidal gates. And then we ended up starting the race again, and he again blitzed away, and he finished second in IRC, but won the 52 division. So you've got an incredibly fast boat there, very well sailed, and a very impressive performance. But it became a little boat race. They came home with this win. Whenever it ends with a running race, little boats will win the race. So then the other interest, which was of interest to all of us, is seeing the 4 maxis out there on the starting line. It was just, they're just beautiful to watch. It's such a unique thing that Sydney Harbour can offer. It attracts 400 footers, and when the Scallywag is back on the scene for Hobart, I believe it'll be 500 footers, and it's just a unique yachting experience to seeing them out there.
Just amazing how they've all ended up in Australia.
We had our Australasian sales meeting, and we have it leading into the Southport race because we're all in town. So we had guys from Asia and New Zealand and Australia, and then we all go and do the race. And we were talking about markets and why some markets attract different size boats and so on. And we're just lucky in Sydney that we have it's all about geography. We've got a deep harbour. And a deep harbour allows us to have the draft of the bigger boats, and as boats are getting bigger and the keels are getting deeper and the high aspect keels, it's limiting where they can actually sail. So if you take an area like a waterway like Port Phillip Bay down in Melbourne, they no longer have a very big, they don't have any big boat market because there's not the depth. So you might have the enthusiasm and the people who would like to have big boats down there, but they're just not the depth, so they don't have the same market. And the same with Brisbane. Although you can keep blackjacks kept on the Brisbane River, you actually don't race big boats out of Brisbane because, again, where the yacht club is and so on, it just doesn't have the draft.
Moreton Bay is very
it's very shallow. Yeah. So Sydney tends to be the attraction. And why have all the 100 been here? I guess it's a legacy of Neville Crichton and Bob Oatley. They basically invested in the maxi yachts. They went around the world, bashing each other on the head for a number of years. I mean, I sailed with Neville for 12 years all around the world, and I think to see both of those boats are back here in Sydney, and now we've got Comanche and Infotrack, the old Loyal. It's just a great spectacle, and I think we're very honoured to have them participating all the time.
And of course, with 5 of them, with Woody back from Hong Kong with Scallywag.
Yeah.
The Hobart race, the Rolex Hobart race, is going to be another big ending in.
Yeah, well, and look how close the amazing thing is, look how close the boats are finishing, and they've all got their strengths and they've all got their weaknesses. And but over, sailing on the east coast of Australia, you get these parking lots. A lot of people think that the east coast of Australia and the Hobart race is a fresh weather race. People remember the southerly busters, but hey, they last 12 hours, and the race is at minimum sort of a 48-hour race to a 3 or 4 day race, depending on your size of your boat. And there's in between those fresh conditions, you go through these very light transitions. And when you have the transitions, the fleet stack up again, and the cards all stack up again, and you're off. So what we've seen in both the finish of the Hobart race 6 months ago and in this Gold Coast race is it's gone light, and the boats have performed better in the light airs, have hung on and snuck through, because your boat performance difference is way greater in light airs than it is in heavy airs. In other words, a boat that's got an edge in heavy airs might have an edge, say, going upwind of half a knot, but you get light airs with a maxi, and there are some boats that literally can't get going. The one of the high wetted surface area, they basically, if they park up, you can't get them going again because of the wetted surface area.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Comanche, Infotrack, yeah.
And the other two boats are what we call pencil boats.
I've done many Hobart races on Infotrack when it was loyal and with Anthony Bell, and you hit the light airs and you just park to the water. But then you get the skinnier boats like Wild Oats, who's been modified so she's a bit halfway in between, and Blackjack, the old Alpha, who's in the original configuration, and they smoke in the light airs. So,
well,
and
they won the race, didn't they?
Yeah.
Won the Flying Honours.
As I say, they might be quarter of a knot off the pace, fresh stuff upwind, but when it goes light, they're actually knots quicker than the others. So they make up a lot of distance in the light airs very quickly.
Down the mine they go. Hang on, boys.
You don't have sailing on the TVs in your club? Well, we have the channel. Contact us at info@boatson.tv and we will install in a week. The best in global sailing is now available in your club, so contact us now. Local, national and worldwide sailing videos plus from your own members' boats. Only we offer this great sailing TV channel. Act now. Email for details. info@boatson.tv.
Gust and the rain, it was really hard to see where you were going, so you had to know your course configuration and trust on your compass to get back to the gate and the finishing line. So now I'm having a 8-point buffer. It will be me just having to do a good race, medal race tomorrow to hold on to the Gold Cup.